What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I thank you for taking the time on this beautiful Monday afternoon, a little bit after 12:30. And ladies and gentlemen, it is training camp. We're in the second week. Excitement to be had. Football is right around the corner. So getting pumped up, but also not overreacting to some of these things that are happening because, again, this is training camp. So we're going through all of these notes throughout training camp, but we're taking it all with a grain of salt, as we always do. But a lot of things to take from it. We got to break things apart. We got to see who's struggling, doing well, and take that with a grain of salt. But we really have a lot of question marks, a lot of battles here, and a lot of excitement because there is depth across the board. So very excited for this all season. And, the Eagles, look, they built on paper quite the fancy looking team here. So we have to see this thing gel. We have to see them working well together. And, it's good to hear good things. So when people get upset about the good things, look, man, I mean, it's okay. And when people try to overreact to the bad things, it's like, look, man, for the same thing you say about not overreacting to good things, you have to take with the bad. So I think people seem to forget that, but it is what it is. So taking these notes, taking a gander, trying to take from people what it is. But I appreciate you guys taking the time. If you have any questions, comments about today's camp, let me know. Any questions or comments about anything else, I'd love to hear them. But I will actually be at training camp tomorrow. So I told you guys last week I was doing all I could to try to find a way to get me a press pass to find out how I could be there. And so I asked around and I ended up getting an invitation to practice tomorrow. So I'm going to be there, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be allowed to do, whether, when it comes to asking players questions or, I'm not exactly sure what's going down here, but very excited would be an understatement, ready to run through a wall. So first padded practice tomorrow, so I get to be there. I'm pumped. Let me know in the comments below. What do you want me to keep an eye on? What is the position you want to see the most? I'm going to be taking a gander at that front seven that I've been trying to break down to this defense. We got pads on tomorrow, so really can't wait to see the offensive and defensive lines. I'm going to be checking everybody out, but really excited about tomorrow. So let's just take a break there and let's talk about today. Today, again, we have to go from the notes. So tomorrow I'll be taking notes. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because I've got like a 2.5, 3-hour drive. Not sure what's happening exactly after practice. So maybe I'll just make my video live from the NovaCare complex or maybe the parking lot or wherever the hell I have to do it. But I'm excited that I'll have my own notes, but we're going off of what these guys are able to see and what small videos and things we're able to look at. So let's take a look at the notes for today. So Gardner Minshew had his struggles, throws 2 interceptions against the first team defense. And again, take all of this with a grain of salt, working on things where maybe you wouldn't try it other times in a game, whatever it is, trying new schemes, offensive plays, whatever it is. So we're not getting too worried about it. One of them I saw, was tipped by Darius Slay, who is big play Slay, and then picked off. We had Sean Bradley get one. You had Marcus Epps get one, and I believe it was Epps on that play where Slay tipped it. So you had 2 guys get interceptions from Minshew, and we talked about Bradley providing that special teams and linebacker depth, possibly being that 5th inside linebacker, 7 total with including those 2 Sam linebackers. I feel we may keep 7. So Sean Bradley showing he can provide some help there. Marcus Epps have talked about, his ability to be the starter, and with Jaquiski Tartt here now, and Anthony Harris, you have 3 guys that can really provide you some good play with, the amount of snaps I think all 3 of them will get. I feel pretty comfortable there. I'm not against trading for Jesse Bates, as everyone always brings up, but look, I think I feel pretty damn comfortable, especially with the way our front 7 and corners look. So moving along here, Jalen Reagor got the first crack at punt returner, and we've talked about, other people and how they have to step it up, how they need to stake their claim as maybe the return specialist, provide some wide receiver depth. We talked about Britton Covey yesterday, Devin Allen getting their shots there. So Jalen Reagor's got to prove he can do something. John Clark posted that, he had his struggles at wide receiver today. Jalen Reagor retweeted it about him lying. Who knows? I'm going to take a look tomorrow. Definitely keep my eye on him. But we know that Jalen Reagor needs to step it up big time as a first-round pick, especially with people holding the Justin Jefferson thing over his head. it's going to be a rough ride if you don't provide something. So with guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins in front of you, you should be able to shine, man. And one of those things is that punt returner. So we'll see if he is able to provide something there. But look, man, this dude's had it tough. And we know, if you cut him, you're not trying to take $8 million cap hit. You got $6 million in dead money, $2 million cap hit. That's not something you really want to do. If you could trade him, it's only about $2 million with like $1 million dead cap, $1 million in cap space. So that's not a big deal. So maybe you trade him for a bag of potato chips if he's that bad. But I think as a first round pick, maybe you see what the hell you can get out of him. Not so sure how much he struggled. I would like to see that for myself. So not trying to push any narratives, just reporting what they are reporting. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I know he's been struggling. That's why I talked about how we had to add a big name receiver in this all season. That's why I wanted A.J. Brown so desperately. So trust me, I get it. And I understand the frustration there. But when looking at the money, that'll make me even more frustrated if we have that much in dead money again. I'm not trying to play that game. I understand how he missed that pick. Look, if he could step it up and be something, a fourth, fifth wide receiver and provide you with return ability, it's a win for me because we've already got Devontae, AJ here because of all those things. So I'm excited about it either way, and we'll see exactly how he does. But yeah, it was funny. And right before I got on, it's all about that. But going to talk about Jordan Davis there. You saw he was down there listed. He is literally a monster. And I've been trying to get that across before the draft. I explained why he had to be the first pick for the Eagles, why we had to get him, because we desperately needed a nose tackle with what Jonathan Gannon was trying to do. So I broke that down a million times, trying to explain what this defense is, why we had to have Jordan Davis. He does not play over Fletcher Cox, over Javon Hargrave. He plays next to, and, with the different schemes, there will be times he can be spelled. And Cox and Hargrave will be the D tackles. You don't need a nose tackle. I broke down the different schemes, explained when you will need certain players, but this guy is a monster. And the media is starting to understand why. They didn't get, why would you take a nose tackle? There was all that confusion. He was the pick, and he needed to be the pick, and I am ecstatic that he is the pick. He's a monster. And one of the things he talked about today that was different was instead of him just taking on blockers, as we talked about, he can rush to the quarterback. He can try to get to the quarterback. He's going to create pressure where the offensive line is going to have to take on a monster. Going to have to decide, do you want to double team him? Do you want to double team Cox, Hargrave? And then on the edges, dude, you've got Reddick and Sweat. You've got a great rotational pieces here. You've got Brandon Graham. You've got Derek Barnett back. Teron Jackson, the young man. So a lot of talent here. And I think Jordan Davis, as I've explained for months now, he allows all those other people to feast. We talk about the fact that we were 31st in the league last year in sacks with only 29. Unacceptable. So you had to go out. You added Davis. You added Reddick. Those are keys to allowing a multiple scheme defense with those key roles right there as a nose tackle and Sam linebacker. You had to have the skill sets that those two specifically have to watch this thing flourish. I think it's going to be one of the top defenses in the league. I know on paper is what it is right now, but I think if they could start gelling the way that you have that power cornerback who can take on those big wide receivers, dude, you got James Bradbury, and then you have the big play guy in big play Slay. I really think that just all across the board, I've talked about it extensively, what Jonathan Gannon wants to do. The 6 starters we added, or possible starters, whatever. Dude, it's a lot of excitement to be had here. So I'm pumped about Jordan Davis. I cannot stress that enough. I just can't. He was the pick. So glad that we actually picked him. Kayvon Wallace, yeah, man, we've talked about that. He's got Epps, Tart, and Harris in front of him. He's going to have to step it up, prove that he can be the guy for the future. But next year, we need to focus in the draft on the secondary. So we'll see what he can provide. But, yeah, I haven't heard too much about him either. What is going on, Lindy? Appreciate you taking the time today. We're going over a few notes from today's training camp. That's about it tonight. Oh, man, I've got a lot to figure out here, trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing, waiting for this call. Keep looking at my phone. Sorry, but waiting from this call from this person that I will be at camp with tomorrow, and just trying to figure out what everything is, how it's going to go down, so I can try to provide you guys with the best of coverage, what I'm going to be allowed to do. Not so sure yet, but hopeful to get some answers there. We shall see. But you saw there, talked about Jordan Davis, but Miles Sanders, he continues to look good. A lot of people were thrown off by, Kenny Gainwell getting reps with the one. We talked about that. You're going to expect to see those things. You want to see what other guys can do with the ones, just in case an injury happens or, they beat the other guy out, whatever it is. You want to do all of these things. You want to move guys around. Do not, take everything with a grain of salt, as I always say. So There it is. But the first day of padded practice, as I mentioned, will be tomorrow. How perfect that I get to be there on the first day of padded practice. So let me know in the comments below, what positions do you guys want me to look out for tomorrow specifically? I'm going to be trying to get everywhere I can, but I know it's only, well, I think tomorrow is going to be an hour and a half, I was told. So we're going to have to move to different spots, and I'm going to try to have to use my time as wisely as I can. I've never done this before, so I'm going to try to do my best, try to take as many notes and things as I possibly can and provide you guys with whatever I possibly can. But let me know down below, what do you guys want me to check out for? Again, down here at the bottom, we have some injuries. Grant Calcaterra with that hamstring injury yesterday that held him out today. It doesn't seem to be too serious, but we'll keep our eyes on that one. You know, I've talked about him being that F-type tight end, taking over that Zach Ertz type role, having Stoll as that H-back, and then having Goddard as your Y tight end. Those three, I see a bright future for. Zach Pascal still dealing with that stomach bug. He, unfortunately, has missed all of training camp, but I think this dude, he will find himself a spot on this roster as a 4 or 5 wide receiver. He's going to get his snaps, and I'm excited to see what he can do for this team. Hopefully he gets better soon. Carrick Wheatfall dealing with some COVID stuff. He is trying to get his body back and right. He is definitely trying to work his way from the bottom there. We'll wish him the best of luck. He was limited today. Milton Williams also limited with that elbow injury that kept him out yesterday. So I will definitely keep my eye on that stuff tomorrow, and any other injuries or whatever is going on, I will try to be on top of it. It's going to be really weird to try to like text. I'm not sure. I'm going to be so in awe and trying to figure this out, but I'm going to still try to like, you know, keep you guys up to date with everything that's happening. So it's going to be a wild ride. We'll see how it goes, man. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today. But that is all I have for the notes. But any questions, anything, you guys, let me hear it. Great points about Davis and Reagor. I'm understanding your content. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, my man. I hope you, have any questions or whatever, you reach out, man, because I'm always here for you guys, and anything I can try to relay to you or any answers I can give to you, I'll happily do that. Tonight, though, as I said, we're supposed to guest on the show. I'm not sure if I'm leaving tonight and staying at my brother. I really got to figure some stuff out. So I wanted to do that show, though, just real quick, breaking down what Haason Reddick and Jordan Davis roles are. Those two specifically, what they can do for this multiple scheme defense, and just try to show people the schemes, because there's still a lot of confusion out there and people pissed that we're using Reddick the way he should be. So I just want to try to break that down, but I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Any action for, well, yesterday we talked about those guys. Allen actually started as the kick returner, and then Britton Covey actually looked pretty damn good yesterday, as was reported. So I think that those guys definitely have a chance to make this team, and we've talked about that. You know, Britton Covey being like 5'6", 5'7", the guy's a midget, small person, sorry. But I think that, he really has a chance, because if he can provide some depth at wide receiver and be that return guy, we need somebody to be a return specialist, because I'm tired of just being like, oh God, I hope we don't have a mistake on this return. I want the opposing team to be like, oh shit, I don't want to kick to this guy because he's going to run it right down my throat. So Britton Covey, I think, is that guy that can do that to you. He can kill you, but that is in college. You know what I mean? So I want to see what he can do in the NFL before I get ahead of myself. Devin Allen looked great 6 years ago in Oregon. Not too many returns, but can provide that wide receiver depth and possibly help you as a returner. So I know they're giving him reps there, trying to find out if he could do that. He better be able to do that, or he's not finding a roster spot, but hasn't played football in 6 years, doing great stuff with the Olympics, the hurdling, all that great. That's awesome. But football is completely different. So are you going to get your head knocked off one hit and not be able to play? I don't really know. And I'm not judging the guy and saying he can't make it. What I'm saying is they've got uphill battles, both of them, Allen and Covey. And I think that they both have a shot, though. If you guys saw my position by position breakdown, I talked about both of those guys extensively and talked about the fact that I think they could definitely make the Eagles keep a sixth wide receiver just for their return ability and to provide some wide receiver depth there. So I like both of them, and I'm excited. Tomorrow I will definitely be heading over to the returners. I want to see what's going on there. Who all is trying out there? Do they have Quez over there? Kenny Gainwell? Are some of these guys, some of these questions that I want answered that I'm not getting any of, I'm going to go find the answers tomorrow. So I hope I can give you a little bit more there, and I hope that was a little something for you, but that's all I've got for now. But excited about both of them, Micro Air. Great question. Thoughts on the claims about TJ Edwards being the best linebacker in camp? That's not far-fetched. This is camp. So, look, man, it's not hard to look really impressive, but we've talked extensively about TJ Edwards. Also, this is somebody who you can consider a starter, because I've said it. Now, do I feel will be a nickel? way more than any kind of base package? Yes. So do I think TJ Edwards by the end of the year has more snaps than Kaiser White or Nakobe Dean? That's a big no for me. And you can happily go back to the end of the season and check this, because I really think those two will be your top two linebackers. But that does not mean there is not a role for TJ Edwards, because in certain schemes, he definitely has a role. This dude, run stopping machine, getting better in coverage, but still some question marks there. But Nakobe Dean, he's still very young. He has to get a lot of work in coverage. He's, sideline to sideline guy, run stopping guy. So a lot of excitement to be had. And I think he's going to have a very bright future. But let's not, get ahead of ourselves here. It's still very, very, very young career for him. And I think a very long career is coming. So let's just hold our horses. But we talked about adding a veteran like Kaiser White in this all season, what that would do to help someone like Nakobe Dean and this linebacking room. Well, now I feel much more comfortable that TJ Edwards is not relied to do certain roles that he just can't do. Now you've got Kaiser White, who pretty much is your number one for me. That is the number one linebacker, and he will be the guy with the most snaps, I believe, unless an injury or whatever. And then it'll be Nakobe Dean, which might take a couple weeks, but you can rely on TJ Edwards, and I like TJ Edwards a lot. I really do. So I'm very comfortable with that. You guys can go check out that linebacker breakdown when I did the positional stuff. And you can also check out, the top 10 matchups. I mentioned a lot of those linebackers, Sean Bradley, TJ Edwards. There's, a lot of competition to be had here this offseason, man. And it's exciting because this team, oh my God, last couple of years, it's like, oh, Jesus. Like, I like these guys, you're one of, Alex Singleton, a great guy, but I don't feel comfortable throwing him in as my nickel linebacker cover. That's not, nope. No. Not a third string linebacker that's a special teamer. Sorry, dude. That's just, so we went out and we talked about, the beginning of this all season, what Howie Roseman had to do to ensure these coaches, could succeed. So Howie went above and beyond, did everything he could. Now it's up to the coaches. It's up to the players. We got to see what these guys can bring to the table. So, I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, I'm hoping to put that video out. I can't promise I will. If not, maybe I'll do it when I get home tomorrow. But we're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to take as many notes and do as many things as I possibly can. I really don't know what all I'm going to be able to do, if I'm going to be allowed to sit there and ask questions, or if I can talk to some of these players afterwards. I don't know. I'm going to find out, man. But I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to do all I can for all of you. So pump for kickoff. Oh, me as well. Let's go. You know it, dude. I'm ready to run through a wall. He didn't do himself a favor saying he cheated his way through his first. Well, he didn't say he cheated. He fake it till you make it, and he was raw, dude, very. But the dude's athletic as hell. So, he knows in the NFL you have to step it up, and he's got some great teachers. So really pumped about that. Sticking in one coverage and doing it well. Philly media, yeah, man. And that's why I made this brand, let alone make these shows, because I know that the media is going to try to run with narratives and try to make this kind of stuff into more than what it is. And it's like, he obviously is joking. He's one of the smartest dudes on this team already. He is a very bright young man. And I think, he obviously got thrown on the field and was able to play as a rookie because he's so smart. He says, fake it till you make it, because he probably wasn't as athletic and ready to go as most of these guys were, but he was so smart and just such a great player that you had to have him out there. And that's how I feel about him. And that's why I feel he's going to be on the field sooner rather than later. I think this kid, yeah, sure, maybe a little bit raw, and he knows he's got a long way to go. This is the NFL now, baby. And this is multiple scheme defenses. So if he's going to be the leader of this defense one day, he's got a lot of learning to do. And I think he's the guy to do it. So really excited about it, man. Meant fake, good call. Yeah, and I knew what you were saying, and I'm not saying you said it. Like, I know what the media is doing. I know exactly what they're trying to do, my man. And it's ridiculous how much they ride with things. And it's like the same way I'll say for Hurts, I'll say for Gardner Minshew. Like, take that stuff with a grain of salt, dude. Like, he's with the second team, and he's going against the first team. They're situational things. They're certain throws maybe he wouldn't make in a game. I mean, it's just so different. You guys, anyone that's ever played, practice is much different than the way you're playing, especially for those of you that are like me, who are got that Dawkins in you where you just flip that switch when it comes game day. It's a completely different beast. So I try not to take too much, with what they say. And that's why I try to break these things down myself and let people know what is going on. And, I think being there tomorrow is going to be a much better way for me to be able to tell you guys what I see and take my own notes. And if I'm allowed to ask questions, ask my own questions. If not, well, then I'll be listening, or maybe I can get in the ear of some of those reporters before they do ask questions. So going to be trying to find all I can. I'm going to be keep my eye on special teams, looking at Aaron Sipos, trying to find out if Jalen Reagor has how much competition he's really got as returners, how many they've got back there. I want to know it all. If you guys want to know anything, let me know. Which position do you think I should try to keep my eye on first full padded practice tomorrow? So very excited. No clue how this is going to go. So I'm going to do my best for you, but let me know in the comments below how you feel I should go about tomorrow. Which direction do you want me heading? But yeah, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell, and you'll know I'll be trying to go live tomorrow. I don't know what they allow you to do, so I'll try my best to be doing live coverage and stuff. But we're going to see how that works exactly. I can't promise you anything because I have no idea how this works. I have never had a press fest before. I've never been able to do this before, but let's go. A little bit excited about it. I'm going to try to come back a little bit later, do that defensive breakdown. It's going to be a quick one, but just try to calm the masses down. That's what we're trying to do here. A little bit of education will go a long way, I feel. So we're going to try to do that later. But if you need anything, you know, you can always reach out, whether it's life, birds, whatever, always down to talk to you guys. But yeah, they're keeping track of training camp stats. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And, you know, I'll talk about when they throw interceptions, things like that. And it's fine, but I do it so I can break it down and tell you how much it doesn't matter, because holy hell, it's like they got like game stats out there, 7 for 16 and 3 for. It's like, dude, give me a. It's like they're in the red zone every play, threw 3 touchdowns. Like, wow, they literally started the 10-yard line. I can't, but I know what you guys want to hear about interceptions and touchdowns. So I do play along a little bit just because I know people love it, but you know I will always smash any of that clickbait. You know that's how I roll. But they're going to put this whole team under a microscope, but especially Hurts and Gannon. You know, ignorance is not an excuse for these people to be upset. So we're going to keep trying to educate them and show them why all these things are good things. Whew, it's been a wild ride, though, this entire offseason. And they keep the flip-flopping happens, but it just gets tiresome when it's like there'd be a time where you don't have to waste an entire day deleting everything you've said that was wrong. Like, it just, if you listen, rather than arguing all the time. But we've got people who've never played the game educating people out here. Well, misinforming, I should say. So rough ride. Tomorrow, we're going to change the game, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, let me know in the comments what you would like to see tomorrow. What is your favorite position that you think I should be looking for? What's the battle you're looking forward to the most? Pads on tomorrow. So, yeah, reach out if you need me, but I'll try to get back here later. Until next time, though, this is Jimmy Smith, and this has been On the Road to Victory. Stay safe out there, and as always, go on!